Welcome back to BYT. It's been a few days, and I apologize. I had a major catastrophic failure on my recording device, and good thing for warranties. I was under a 1-year warranty, and they sent me a new device. I got it up and running, added more memory, so we will see how this goes. I have gotten a lot done. I've got the entire top of the bus from this side. I got this side left to do. I got a small portion on the back. It would be back there on that corner. And then I can seal the seams. Now, I was hoping to have the seams sealed prior to the snow we got. We got another 2.5, 3 inches of snow. And, but today's going to be 53 degrees. Everything's melting nicely. But I was hoping to have the windows done, the seams sealed on top. That did not happen. But I got the top sanded. I got the sides all sanded. And I was hoping to get the windows sealed. So I have not cleaned the windows yet. I still have to clean the glass, clean the aluminum, so I can seal the lower windows. And then seal the seams on the roof and get it ready for paint. I've decided to start at the top to bottom. Because if I add stuff and drill new holes, I can always gasket them and seal them as I put them on. So I'm going to work on when everything's dry, of course, and finish sanding it. Then I got to wash the top, let it dry, seal everything, paint it, and then we will go from there on getting everything dried in. Where, even with all this snow we had and everything melting, I have a little bit of moisture around that one outside edge on the passenger side, along the base. And then on the driver's side, I have some moisture on that rail where the seat sat. I haven't seen any drips or leaks. But, that could be coming in the windows, because that is sitting on the windy side. So I will just have to play that by ear, see how it goes. And I'm hoping because I have not sealed any of the driver's side. I haven't cleaned the windows, I haven't sealed around the windows, so I have done none of that yet. The moisture on the passenger side is getting less. So whatever I'm doing is working. It is slowing it down. Hopefully when I get the top sealed, even with all this melting, there's no drip above the engine door like there normally is on the roof. I was expecting to come in and see it. There's no moisture in the cab over the windshield. And all I did was sanded. I might have heated up the sealant that's in there, but I'm still going to seal the seams and paint the roof, and then check it during a rainstorm for more leaks or anything else before I can classify it as done. Today I think I'm going to start. I got my new plasma cutting tips in. I got my new airline fittings. That's another thing. I got to add a little bit more sealant tape to their threads, because their thread sealant tape is thin. It's leaking a little bit of air around where it threads in, but it's not leaking air where the airline goes in and connects. So I'm going to put a little bit more thread sealer on there, put it back in, fire the bus up, let it build up the pressure, turn it off, and listen for leaks. Hopefully that works. They were not easy. They were easy to find, but when I mic'd up the threads and I mic'd up the airline, is not what they sent me. I think what they classified as OD on the threads, and what I classified as OD on the threads were two different sizes, because Third time was a charm. My first 2 orders were correct airline size, not correct thread size for the air gauge. So I'm going to try that thread sealer, put it on, tighten it up, and if I have no air leaks, great. Then I can do that to the next one that was leaking air, and hopefully, because when I was sitting in here with the old fitting in, my one air tank after 3-4 days still had air in it. They did not bleed down all the way. So hopefully this is going to remedy that problem. But today, like I said, I got my airline fittings in. I got my pieces for my plasma cutter, new tips and new electrodes. So I'm going to try today to install, or not install, but at least cut out the spots in the bumper for my tail lights. And if that's a success, my apologies, then I may try to tack weld that tow hitch together so I can get it centered properly and get the 3 holes drilled that are going to hold that rear plate in place. So stick with me. Hopefully I'm not talking too boring, and I will see you guys in a bit. Just remembered, got the new ignition in for the 69. I'm going to install it, and I'm going to make sure it's getting fuel, and I'm going to see if I can start this sucker up real quick. So I get it running. Hopefully, that's all it's going to take. Put the ignition in, battery's fully charged, turn it on. Make sure there's enough gas going to the carburetors. Make sure the carburetors are getting gas. So I'll pull out one of the bottom screws, not pull it out fully, just back it out until I see fuel. Make sure it is getting fuel. And if it is, I will try to see why this could not be started. Alright, well, we will have to consider this lesson learned. This one wasn't so bad. Took a die grinder, angle grinder, plasma cutter, cut it out, smoothed it out a little bit with the angle grinder what I could, and then cleaned it up with a die grinder. Did the same thing here. I didn't get this edge here over far enough, and when I push this in, it split the rubber. But that sucker, let me tell you what, it's in there. It ain't going nowhere. So lesson learned, next time if it fights me a little bit, grind down a little bit more on these edges. But there's the driver's side. I split the difference between this bolt, this mounts to the frame, this mounts to the bumper support. So I found that. And, I might have to figure out where to mount the license plate on this sucker too. I may mount the license plate right there above the tow hitch. If I got a big enough spot. I may have. But I do, because I do have a license plate light. I have to, required to have one at nighttime. And I'm sure there's room from here over and put it in. There's room over there. I looked up laws on license plates, and they're very, how would I want to say it? The wording they give you on where to place a license plate. If the vehicle was made with a license plate holder, you put it there. If not, you put it in the back window. I'm not going to have back windows. So I'm going to have to mount the license plate somewhere with the license plate light, make it legal and all states where when the headlights are on, they can read my license plate from, from being behind me. But yeah, this took a little while. I made a template for the lights. Trace it out with soapstone. I go through and I measure. I put my centers in. I come out from the center to the edge, center to the edge, center to the top, center to the bottom. Put lines, line my lines up with this, soapstone it. Gives me a nice outline, and then cut it out with a plasma cutter, clean it up with everything else. I will start on that side here shortly. But I think it looks good. These are LEDs, and they are very, very bright. Both of them will be tail lights, and when my headlights are on, and then one will be a brake light and one will be a blinker. So when you push the button on them in the box, it almost blinds you. So I know these LEDs will shine up and will show at quite the distance. They'll know when I'm turning, and they will know when I'm freaking stopping. So, and I might just start here and work my way that way. Like I said, I'm still waiting for everything to dry up. Most of the snow is melted and gone, so that's nice. But I think I'm just going to work my way from here that way. I still have to run the wiring underneath along the frame rail. And I still have to drill a hole over here for the 7-prong plug. I still have to center that up, tack weld that in place, put the rear brace on it, tack weld that in place. Is this going to be welded to the frame as well as this? I even bolted. I'm going to put the 3 bolts in, and I'm going to need to still weld this to the frame. Even underneath. I will come underneath, and I will weld the back side of it as well, and it will become a permanent fixture on the bus. I don't know what I'll be towing, when I'll be towing, where I'll be towing, and I'd rather go big or go home and not take the chance of hurting somebody. That's one of my biggest things when I fabricate stuff is safety. I don't want to hurt myself for one, and I don't want to hurt anybody else. So I don't want a tow hitch breaking. I don't want one falling off. I don't want it cracking. So if I'm overdoing it, hey, that's great. It's better than underdoing it and causing some injury later on down the road. So I will keep you updated on where I go from here. I might get underneath and run the wires and just figure out where my, cause I got them labeled in my book, and just hook this side up and see how everything goes. So I'll let you know. See you in a bit. Alright, well, here's what I got so far. I use that to hold that in place in the back so I could get the bracing on. Let's see if we can get it up in there and see. There we go. There's that cross brace there coming to the hitch. Then I got it welded solid back to the bumper, all the way around, all the way down. Do the same thing here, welded solid all the way around, and same here, welded solid all the way around. And like I said, got the underneath as well. I don't think I'm going to need them bolts. So I've been toying around with the idea. I brought out the hole drill, the hole saw. I was going to put the 7-point hitch here, or the plug. But I think if I mount it down here, close enough to this, it should be safe. It's close enough to the hitch. Everything should be alright. I can use some self-tapping screws, mount this up under here, or I can just, put it there and, drill a hole, mount it. But that's, this is some pretty thick stuff. When I cut through the bumper. That's pretty stout. So I think if I put some self-tapping screws up through the bottom of that and just mount this bracket there. As I say, I got these two tail lights in, and I got those other two to go if I do those tomorrow. And then the hitch, I can wire up the whole back end of this thing, and it'll actually be drivable. Right now with no brake lights, no blinkers, no turn signals, no tail lights, I don't even, I won't even leave the yard. And that's one of the things that stopped me from registering it. And none of that, I thought, if the license plate will fit over here, I can always, if this is down here and not up here in the way, I can probably, I'm more likely to be able to put my license plate in this area, which I have a test license plate off an old vehicle. I'm going to go get and see where it fits. See you in a minute. Well, since I had the welder out, I just welded it in place. And see, license plate can go there. I can put the license plate light right here or up here a little bit. Just drill one hole, run one wire. And I believe it grounds to wherever you're screwing it to. And plenty of room for a license plate. So, I think that's what I'm going to do. Most motorhomes are up on the side of it, off by one tail light, or, driver's side. Now, I've seen them on everything. But this is as close to like a car. It's in the middle. It's close to the middle without it actually being over top of that. So, I think it should be alright. Put the light in. Place for the license plate to fit. Get the other two lights in tomorrow. Get the hitch in, I might even finish that today, now that that's welded in. Ooh, a little warm still. Wire brush my welds. Yeah, I get that. This is all going to be painted anyways, all that old the paint has been welded. You can see where I got good penetration on there, or good penetration here where the heats came through. So she's coming along. Like I said, I might get that installed, not wired up, just installed in its place. And I found some little brackets I may weld on the frame, little electrical tabs. You just spot weld the tab in place, pull it back, put your wire harness in, and close it up, and it'll hold your harness in place. I want to kind of keep it. I don't want it dangling. I want to keep everything good and tight up out of the way, because you never know what's going to be coming up underneath, as far as boxes and storage and stuff. Sewage tanks, whatever. Whatever needs to go underneath of us, I want to keep the wiring out of the way of that. Like I said, I may even be able to put a fuel cell in the back of this thing for regular gas or premium gas, because that's what our motorcycles take. It'd be nice just to have my own gas station. Go to the gas station one time, fill up the bus up with diesel, fill the fuel cell up for the motorcycles, and go wherever you want. Not have to worry about getting there and finding gas stations. You might be out in the middle of nowhere, and no gas stations around. So, just an idea, but there is plenty of room under there for one, I tell you. Slide one up in there, put a couple braces in, strap it down. You can see up under there, the diesel tank is right there. There's the piece that goes out, put another piece there, it goes out, one diesel, one gas. Man, that'd be pretty slick. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll talk to you in a bit. I just set that in place, but I think that's going to be pretty good. I do have the 4-prong adapter that goes in here, so I can tow a trailer with a 4-prong hookup. And I did get the drop hitch. For anything I need to, any trailers that are too low to the ground, it's adjustable by 11 inches. So I think that's going to work pretty good. Definitely going to have a tool locker, chain locker, whatever for, towing. Straps, tie downs, whatnot. I'll go into, the locker. And every tool that I'm using to build this bus, even that will be in one of my tool lockers. So, I will have enough power in this bus, generator wise. Because I've ran that welder off a generator. That's why I use Flux Core. I can use it anywhere in any condition minus rain. Outside in the wind, dirty metal, it works. That's why I like them so much. Like having that on the bus, anything breaks, you can fix it. Anything cracks, splits, you can seam it up. Anybody needs help with anything, you're there. You got your stuff. It's just, so everything I'm using to build this bus will be in a tool locker somewhere on the bus. We'll talk to you a bit. Alright, everybody. I'm done for today. I'm glad to be back. Glad to have my functioning equipment. So, if you like today's content, please like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down below. And whatever you're doing out there, you be safe. You have yourselves a great day. And we shall see you tomorrow. And the Honda, it wore me out trying to kickstart that thing. So, I'm going to pull the plugs out of it, clean them up, check, see if the owner flooded it, and go from there. It has been quite the pain in the butt. I'll turn the fuel off. But yeah, it wore me out kickstarting that thing, man. Turned my leg to jello. So I'll update later when I pull the plugs out, check them, see how they are, see if the cylinders are flooded, dry them out, and then go from there. Because I got spark at the points, I got spark at the plug wires, at the coils. With my spark tester, I got spark through the coils. I opened up the drain plugs on the carburetors. I got fuel out of all 4 of them, and it still would not start. So I think it, either fouled the plugs or something, or flooded them out, and it's just full of so much fuel it just won't fire. So I'll pull each plug out, clean it up, set them on the head, kick it over without no compression, and see if the spark plugs are firing or not. And that's my next step, but that's for another day. We'll see you later.